Dave Asprey is quite an interesting person that I could have never really wrapped my head around. He's a biohacker, successful businessman, and he wants to live to 180, which is quite awesome. See, I would consider myself a biohacker. I try to optimize every single aspect of my life for performance. So I kept on wondering, is Dave Asprey a snake oil salesman or a thought leader? I just watched a recent interview of Dave Asprey with London Real, and I finally came to a conclusion. Today you will learn the truth about Dave Asprey and why not all that glitters is gold. Number 1. The truth about Bulletproof coffee. One thing that you need to know about Dave Asprey is that he's a businessman. This is especially obvious when we take a look at one of his first products called Bulletproof coffee. Dave claimed that it was the only coffee that was free of mycotoxins, completely ignoring the fact that all coffee that you see on the market is free of mycotoxins. So Dave took this one simple aspect of coffee production, which is standardized in every coffee bean, and then claimed that his coffee was the only coffee that was free of mycotoxins. It came to that extent that on it, the company that Joe Rogan supports even took the coffee down because the coffee was marketed with such big, outlandish lies.
So his contention was that 70+%, whatever it was, of all coffee is infected with mycotoxins, and they make you sick, they make the coffee taste bitter, they make you taste bad, they make you feel bad. I took too much of this at face value and parroted a lot of the things that he said, and then we decided to start looking into it ourselves. Well, they've known about mycotoxins in coffee for a long time. There's a PubMed study from 1980 about mycotoxins in coffee. It's always been an issue, but they've been able to resolve that issue with wet processing. Wet processing, they know how good coffee providers know how to eliminate this from coffee. We tested 4 random coffees. Well, 2 random. One Starbucks, one random bag from Whole Foods, one coffee that we sell, which is the upgraded coffee that Dave produces, which is good coffee, good single source coffee, and another one called Caveman coffee. None of them tested positive for mycotoxins.
When people come up to me and boast that they're biohackers because they only drink Bulletproof coffee, I just know that they do not know a single thing about biohacking. Number 2, the little secret about grass-fed beef. Dave Asprey is also a huge proponent of grass-fed beef. He goes to that extent that he claims that every person should consume that sort of beef on a daily basis.
And if you talk to James Cameron or Arnold Schwarzenegger and you say, but what about grass-fed, ethically raised, distributed agriculture? They say, oh, that's not practical, therefore be vegan. I'm sorry, being vegan isn't practical because it will make you weak and old faster than it should be.
This again is such an outlandish claim that we need to take a look at what the science says. If you read about it, grass-fed beef production is not only completely unsustainable, Dave again is also completely wrong. See, beef production makes up 60% of the total use of agricultural land, yet only provides 2% of the total global calories. Which is okay until you realize that we need 30 million square kilometers for that 2% of calories. The problem is that the entire world only consists of 200 million square kilometers, which means even if we would be able to use every single area of this planet for beef production, it would only make up 20% of our total caloric need. Beef is the most unsustainable food production there is. Yet Dave Asprey claims the solution to this sustainability problem is to simply use the land of golf courses.
But is that practical on a global basis?
Okay.
You're saying that's the thing we got to try to make work, is what you're saying.
Can we off your buddy Dan Pena? Replace golf courses with grass-fed agriculture, we're good. And I'm not actually joking here.
Interesting, Dave. Let's take a look at the data. In the US, which is about 50% of the total global area of golf courses, these courses take up about 8,000 square kilometers. This is enough to produce 0.0005% of global calories. through grass-fed beef. Well, thanks for the suggestion, Dave, but that really doesn't change anything. Grass-fed beef is also not ethically the better choice.
Meanwhile, your stupid vegan burger, you know how many butterflies, mice, cute little turtles, salamanders died when the tractors ran over them? Actually, very few of them died because that kind of monoculture has just reduced 40% of the insects on the planet are now gone from vegan diets.
See, the reason rabbits, deers, or insects get killed in soybean production, for example, it's not because of the actual crops that we produce. It's not because soybeans or grains are something special. It's because of a conflict of land. We humans are using a land that other animals also want to use. Which means rationally, if we humans are using more land, there will also be more animals that are trying to use that land. Therefore, there will be more collateral damage. Do you think grass-fed farmers, which are used to kill big animals, will just flinch when they see a rabbit going down their field? I mean, rabbits are trying to eat the grass of the cattle. Number 3, why plants will not kill you.
Vegetables will try to kill you if you try to kill them. It's called lectins. And you could say, oh, that's right, 99% of plants aren't edible for a reason because they contain compounds.
Dave Asprey also somehow claims that only 1% of plants are edible, but only a quick Google search tells us that it's in reality more than 20%. Dave is also extremely fearful of anti-nutrients, claiming that plants will kill us because they do not want to die, completely failing to realize that animals also do not want to die and have certain defense mechanisms that also go to the cellular level. I mean, animals produce stress hormones when they're threatened, and somehow Dave Asprey doesn't give a single about that. If you would actually read into the science, you would realize that human beings have adapted to use the defensive part of plants to our own advantage. I mean, that's the reason why antioxidants work. Antioxidants defend the plant against outside stresses. And we use it to defend against our internal stresses against reactive oxygen species in our body after we consume them. If plants are so bad, Dave, then why is one of the recommendations of the Global Burden of Disease study to eat more fruits, more plants, and more fiber? Maybe because the Global Burden of Disease study is made by actual scientists. Conclusion: it's hard to distinguish if Dave is a complete snake oil salesman or a thought leader. He claims he wants to live up to 180, but honestly, he looks his age. He has produced a supplement that even Joe Rogan has spoken up publicly against. He's also completely off about plants and the ecological impact of grass-fed beef. So off that just a simple Google search will tell you otherwise. So why do people believe in him? I think it's extreme conviction. Dave Asprey doesn't claim that 99% of plants might be inedible or so. Dave Asprey claims that 99% of plants are inedible. Period. He has extreme conviction, which is great for impacting the masses, as most of us are searching for simplicity. But it's not that great if you're searching for truth. The mission of this YouTube channel is to put veganism across the goal line. If you want to help us achieve that, like and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Let's make food production great again.